Mistake number 3, training your employees. This is one of the things that we do offer to our clients. I will come and speak in a lunch and learn for them because honestly, about once a year you ought to be talking about this, if not more, because there is constantly a new type of threat. How do you tell somebody, don't pick up that USB thumb drive that's in the parking lot? You just heard it here. That's one example. Don't click on this type of link. There's more that's happening also with these devices, right? People are the weakest link. That is sad for me to say, but it's true. Area of social media, too many of us reveal intimate or specific details. I just went on vacation. It's not on my social media until I come back. So an example of what I did with one of my best friends, they went on vacation, they started posting all this stuff. Now I was actually looking after their house, but I took their TV off of their wall, right? I was ornery, a little ornery, I'll admit that. So when they came home, guess what? Their big screen TV is gone off the wall. And I said, well, you probably shouldn't have posted you're on vacation and your house was empty all week. Jaw dropped and I said, but it's a good thing that I was the one looking, not somebody else. Here's your TV back. Guess what happened the next vacation they took? I'm still watching the house, still taking care of the dog. They didn't post any of those photos until they got back. Security awareness training. Again, we do this for our clients, but there is also services that have specific training. It may seem unnecessary, right, to retrain. How many companies go through employee orientation on the first day, you're trained, and then go through no other training in years? Well, the job changes, the threats change. You need to have this on at least, I recommend at least on a yearly basis, because there are new things coming out. One of the things that I share, I've got 2 little daughters, 1-year-old and a 2-year-old right now. Your smartphones scare the living daylights out of me because I follow a lot of these things. There's now a text. If they send text to phones and basically saying, hey, you've won your concert tickets, please click this link to pick it up, right? Well, what happens when they click that link, it enables the GPS tracking on the phone, and the child traffickers now can track by the GPS on the phone where that child is. That scares me to death. That has nothing really to do with business, but I'm just sharing because these are the types of things that are changing in our world. We offer a service called Know Before. What does it do? It trains your users. They use the same tools, the same email formats that the hackers do, and we send them to your business. Okay? You have to have about at least 25 employees to be able to use this service. But this is the same type of service that banks use, for instance, right? Somebody always, they fish your own users. I love it because an email came across to our firm from John Jacobson at IBT Support to all of our firm. Guess what? We don't have an employee named John Jacobson. We got another one saying accounts at, that's why they want you to have at least 25, because you don't know if a new hire got brought on board. It's the trust but verify those emails. If somebody clicks on something, you can assign them additional training. That's what I love about it. You got phished. It's going to have you go through some of these quick videos. I've taken them myself. Some of them are 5 minutes, some of them are 10, but it's very quick training to keep your employees up to date. Yes?
Okay, so we work with probably 160 different companies that change employees all the time. They'll send us confirmations, emails, pipeline data, things we have to open to do our business. But how do you recommend that you verify those? Because we're just going.
This is where I have to go old school on you, right?
Non-stop.
Would you let somebody in your front door that you don't know?
Well, no, of course not.
Okay. So if you get an email, verify. Pick up the phone and call somebody to verify.
So if they don't have a phone number on their signature.
Then call the main company. If they're not somebody that you can, multi-factor authentication, right, is a technical word, but let's put it in the human world. My service manager got an email from me saying go buy 20 iTunes gift cards. Scratch off the back, take photos of them, and email me back. What should have happened next? Email is one form of communication. If he believed that email was from me and he responded, he's talking to the same person that sent it. He picked up, actually he texted me and said, did you just send me did you really want me to go buy iTunes gift cards? Irony is I'm in an event like this speaking, so I didn't tell him until afterwards. Obviously, no, that wasn't me. Human nature, we get in a hurry, and this is what they're thriving on, is the CEO or somebody in high stature sent me a request. I want him happy, so I'm going to do it as fast as possible. These are these wire transfers. He said transfer money. I'm not asking questions. He said do it. I'm doing it now. But most organizations now have multi-factor authentication, which means I don't authenticate it just on one form. I use two. So the email, if it's legitimate, the CEO of an organization is not going to really mind you double checking if you're going to initiate a $25,000 wire transfer on his behalf. I'll tell you in my organization, thank you for double checking, because majority of the time we don't do that. Now, if an outside vendor has somebody that's a new employee contacting, doing something, here's an invoice for $50,000, the account number here so we can get your materials shipped. Wouldn't you want to verify that before you just send $50,000?
In our business, it's trades, so we can check our system. We know if we owe them money or not. It's not.
That's where I'd
it's not
still
like
say,
a well-servicing
right.
kind of thing. It's more the risk of clicking on something that's going to infect your machine that I worry about, not that we're going to pay something.
That's a good point. I basically use the rule of thumb. If you don't know who the person is, don't open the door. Do not click on the attachment. Do not click on links. Everybody usually asks the next question of if it's just in the reading pane, does that open it? No, it doesn't. But they've gotten ingenious now about this, right? So a lot of why we can't block all spam is because they'll embed a link in a picture. You don't even see the link because the picture's hiding it. One of the newest things on iPhones is they'll send an email with a dot or a little squiggly line because people think it's a hair or speck on their phone and try to wipe it off. And when you try to wipe it off, the link's embedded in that dot or that line, and they're automatically clicking on it. How do you stop that? Keep your phone clean? I mean, this is the type of tricks that they're using to get us.
If you answer one of those phishing, I mean, have you just, I know you haven't opened anything, like you're just answering the email. Because I did this weekend, my boss is out of town, and I get Steve Gressett. Hey, can you do a quick errand for me? Sure. What do you need? Right? I knew he was out of town, so I wasn't like, it's odd that they sent that right when he was out of town. But then I got it back and it was like, yeah, go get some Google Play cards. I'm like, what the heck are Google Play cards? Put it on your expense account, right? The second email. But the first one, it came from his name. Now, it had this stupid address, which I didn't look at.
Right, and that's what people do. That's the spoofing. Yeah.
And I knew he was out of town, and I thought, oh, he's out of town, he needs me to do something for him.
Right.
So I answered. Did I put any more risk by answering? I didn't click on anything, I just answered.
No, other than the person on the other thing in thinking they've hooked you.
Yeah.
And this is where I would go and tell the CEO, because they're being targeted.
Yeah.
And you've kind of fished into that.
I sent it into you guys. I mean, they asked me to put it in here too. It may have come out of his personal. He wasn't sure.
We had an instance of that. One of the wire transfers was the CEO was traveling, actually in Atlanta airport. Her iPad got stolen. Next thing you know, the accounts payable person's getting the send this wire transfer. The spoof email was correct, but when you actually look at the email address they had created, because anybody can go create a eKeymeyer123 at Hotmail,
Right.
right? They're getting ingenious and close.
Right.
Microsoft, I love this one. Microsoft is phished all the time, and instead of an O, it's a 0, right? So look at the domains, look at the addresses, and it, as bad as it sounds with technology these days, we just have to slow down a little bit. Take the extra couple seconds and look, and not trust technology, because I mean, I would love to say that we'd protect everybody all the time from every threat, but the threats are created. The way to protect them haven't been yet. That's why it's always anti. We're always going to be behind creating the antivirus before the virus is created. Is there another question? Playing it safe on social media. And this applies to business and personal. Selectively share information. My example, if you're on vacation, does everybody in your world need to know that, especially if you have a public profile? Set those profiles to private. Make passwords strong and unique. Change those passwords on your social media occasionally. I mean, I would love to say do it every 90 days. Most people wouldn't do it every year. Lock your devices, right? And then think before you post. I mean, I use the example of just somebody robbing your house, but there's other things that can be done. Sharing too much personal information is how some people get the first hook, right? My name's on our website. I guarantee you, probably once a week, my staff gets an email from me that's not from me. But they know not to click on anything. They know it's not me. Is it a pain? Yes. And we try to block as much as we can.